Today's video is going to help you to understand how you're supposed to create your number. So we're going to look at how Rivka and Hannah explained what their numbers meant. Now, the numbers are totally arbitrary. It's just sequential, depending on the number of people that are coming in. So Hannah's number was J197241. That's the number that she was given. Zipporah was right after Hannah. She's J197242, and so on. Rivka thinks it's important to apply meaning to that number so that when they look at it, they recognize some kind of some significance behind it, so they're not just being reduced to that number. Okay, so I'm going to read you a couple of places where Rivka explains her number and how Hannah explains her number, and then I'll show you one that I did for myself. So the first is in chapter 14 on page 113. Rivka's number is J18202. It's a lower number and it's a smaller number, meaning she's been there longer. J, because I am, like you, a Jew. The 1 is for me because I am alone. The 8 is for my family because there were 8 of us when we lived in our village. And the 2, because that is all that are left now, me and Wolfie, who believes himself to be a 0, but I love him no matter what he is forced to do. And when we are free, and this is over, we will be 2 again. God will allow it. And then on page 119 and 120, Hannah starts to understand what Rivka is saying, so she's trying to give some meaning to her number. So she says, also J for Jew, and 1 for me alone. I am very, very much alone. And 9 is for, well, in English it's pronounced nein, which is like the German word for no. No, I will not die here. Not now. Not in my sleep like little children. J197. 7 is for each and every day of the week I stay alive, 1 day at a time. Then 2 for Gidel and Shmuel, who are here in this place too. And 4. She stopped, closed her eyes, and thought a minute. 4 was such a comforting number, a familiar number, a family number. She wasn't sure why. And 4 is for my family. I think, I almost remember them. If I close my eyes, they are here, hovering within sight. But when I open my eyes, they are gone. And 1, Hannah continued as if she had never been interrupted, because I am all alone here in this place, in this time. She ended triumphantly, though part of her wondered what she had meant. So that's how you're going to create your number. Now, I could have given you a number like was done in the novel, and then you would have had to attach meaning to it. But instead, I let you create your own. And that's what I did with mine. So let me show you what I have. Okay, so hopefully you can see that pretty well. I can't with my glasses on. So I have C734951. I kind of gave you the option of doing just that many numbers, or you can add the extra, because Rivka's number was lower, so she didn't have quite as many as Hannah, or you can add 1 more if you wanted to do that. So if I was in the camp, my number would be C734951. That's what would be tattooed on my arm. So for me, I chose the C because that represents Catholic, and I'm Catholic. I guess it could also represent my first name, but the meaning that I've given to it is the C is representing the fact that I'm Catholic. And then I chose a 7, and 7 would represent my family. When I was growing up, I had, my mother and my father and my 2 sisters and 2 brothers, and there was, 7 of us all together. So that was my family growing up. 3 for me represents the lives in my family that we've lost. So my father and my brother, and recently my nephew. So that's an important number for me because it's always so close to my heart. 4 is my family now. So my husband and my son and my daughter and myself, that's what the 4 would be. So it's representing my family that I have now. 9, kind of reaching a little bit here, but 9 is for my anniversary. I was married on August 9th, so that's my anniversary. The 9 would represent that. And then I kind of did this 2 different ways. So the 5 could be my birthday, which is April 5th. So if I wanted to just leave it at that, the 5 could represent my birthday. Or I could put another number there, which I put a 1, so that would be 51, these 2 numbers together, and that would represent my age. So currently, for a few more days, I'm 51. I wanted you to put these all like on an index card, and then we were going to display them all up in the classroom and give everybody an opportunity to explain. And it's not something that you would decorate or anything. We don't want it to be real fancy because of the simplistic nature of what the tattoo actually was. But we're not really going to be able to do it in that format. So you have a couple of choices. You can just write it on a piece of paper with your explanation. You can email it to me. You can take a picture of it and send it. I think you can even send it through the Remind app if that's easier for you. You can turn it in on our turn-in day. You can record yourself explaining your number and you can send that to me. I thought about having everybody do that and upload it up on YouTube, but I don't think you need one more thing to do right now. So we're just going to try to do it however works best for you. But remember, it's a serious thing. It's thinking about their circumstances and how they were just trying to have that hope so that when they looked at that number, it would represent something more than just an insignificant person in this whole sea of people that are constantly fearful of what the next minute is going to bring. And that was really the devil's arithmetic. It's, staying alive minute by minute by minute by minute by minute. There's always people that want to see about writing them on your arm. And I think we talked about this in the beginning when we started the novel. Even though it would not be done, and I'm positive nobody would do it in a way that would be disrespectful or meant to be disrespectful, it could be perceived that way. Remember, Grandpa Will thought that Hannah was just mocking him because she didn't really understand what the number represented. So even though you do understand what the number represents, we don't really have the right to do it in that way. So that's why I'm giving you some other options of how you can create your number. So it's totally made up. I just made it up. You can start with whatever letter you want to be first, but it should be a letter. Maybe you're Italian, you want to start with an I, or maybe you're however you want to do that. You're an athlete, so you want to start with a B for basketball or an S for soccer. It's something that's going to be significant to you, and then we'll be able to see that. I'll be able to see that in your explanation. Hopefully we'll all be able to see everybody's explanations at some point before the end of the school year. So I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you think this through. Don't just kind of toss something down and say, oh, okay, whatever. Try to really think about what's meaningful to you right now in your life. And I think because of our circumstances, we're sort of reduced to that right now. That's sort of all we have is the essentials, the values that we hold so dear to our hearts. And it'll give us an opportunity to kind of focus a little bit more on that. So I'm anxious to see everybody's number, and I'm curious to see what you're able to come up with. So good luck. If you have any questions, email me, or you can connect with me on the Remind app. And hopefully we'll have all of these for next week. Thanks so much, guys. See you later.